Alright guys, today we'll talk about heart murmurs. Murmur is a very important topic. They are asked in vivas and they also come in theory exams. So first of all, what is the definition? Murmur is what? It's a sound, isn't it? It's a sound. The sound is made because of there is a turbulent flow. And what is the turbulent flow? In heart or great vessels. So heart murmurs are sounds which is produced due to turbulent flow in heart or great vessels. So when we describe murmur, we describe it in its four characteristics. What are the four characteristics? The first one is loudness, how loud the murmur is. This reflects the degree of turbulence. And we can also grade them. The grading of the loudness of murmur is divided in 6 grades. Grade 1, which is barely audible, to grade 6. Which in grade 6 you can hear the murmur even without the use of a stethoscope. The second character is the quality. Quality is the frequency of the sound which the murmur generates. So it is also described in pitch. There are 3 types of pitch. This is easy, high pitched. Then there is low pitch, then there is medium pitched. Easy one. Now comes the tougher one, the location. Murmur is obviously located in chest wall, and the location in chest wall again depends on the site of origin. Site of origin. So suppose this is a guy, this is the chest of a guy. Excuse my drawing. This is the sternum, this is the nipples. So we have divided chest wall in 4 auscultatory radius. One is here, that is in the second intercostal space, just right to the edge of the sternum. Another is here, which is in the second intercostal space again, but left to the edge of the sternum. Another is here, which is in fourth intercostal space, just left lateral to the edge of the sternum. And one is in the fifth intercostal space in the mid clavicular line. So how we name them? This one is called aortic, this one is called pulmonary, this one is called tricuspid, and this area is called mitral. I made a mnemonic when I was in 3rd year MBBS. I used to remember it like this: all patients take medicines. All patients take medicine. Aortic, pulmonary, tricuspid, mitral. All patients take medicine. Alright. So in aortic area, we find the murmur of aortic stenosis, easy, and of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. these two murmurs, aortic stenosis, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, these murmurs we get in aortic area. The murmur of aortic stenosis has got a radiating effect. It radiates towards the carotid artery. Okay, if you put your stethoscope here, you can also hear the murmur of aortic stenosis. In pulmonary area, we find the murmur of pulmonary stenosis and pulmonary regurgitation. In tricuspid area, we find the murmur of easy tricuspid regurgitation, also of tricuspid stenosis, and this one you have to remember. We find the murmur of ventricular septal defect also in tricuspid area. In mitral area, we find the murmur of mitral stenosis and mitral regurgitation. I hope this is clear. So the location of murmur is on chest wall, and these are the auscultatory area of the heart: aortic, pulmonary, tricuspid, mitral. Okay, now the last one, the timing. There are so many data and timing, we have to remember all. I need another page for that. Alright, we've got another page. The timing of heart murmurs. Okay, there are basically two main events in a cardiac cycle. What are the events? Systole. So we find some murmurs during systole, and we can call them systolic murmurs. Another event is diastole. We can call them diastolic murmurs. And some murmurs, they continue through systole and ends in diastole. Starts in systoles, ends in diastole. That is, they are continuous. So we usually call them continuous murmurs. Now in systole, it's a very small amount of time systole gives, but cardiologists have divided this small time in 3 more smaller times. They call one as mid-systole. So murmurs found during mid of the systole is called mid-systolic murmurs. There is another time that is called late systole. So murmur found in late systole is called late systolic murmur. And some murmurs, they occur throughout systole. So we call them pan-systolic murmur. Alright, now which murmurs we find in mid-systole? Murmurs of aortic stenosis, murmurs of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and some innocent murmurs. What are the innocent murmurs? Innocent murmurs are due to increased blood flow. They may be due to anemia. They may be due to pregnancy, and may be due to thyrotoxicosis. Alright, easy one. So mid-systolic murmurs are aortic stenosis murmurs, HCM murmurs, and innocent murmurs. Late systolic murmurs are murmurs of mitral valve prolapse, that is MVP, and easy tricuspid valve prolapse. So valve prolapse murmurs we find late in systole. And what are the pan-systolic murmurs? Mitral regurgitation, tricuspid regurgitation, and of ventricular septal defect. So these murmurs we find throughout systole. Now what are the diastolic murmurs? Diastolic murmurs, we can divide them again in 3 phases of diastole. Okay, one is early diastole, another is mid diastole, Another is late diastole. Late diastole is also called pre-systolic. Murmurs we find early in diastole are of aortic regurgitation and pulmonary regurgitation. Murmurs we find in mid diastole, we must remember this murmur, very important, very common murmur of mitral stenosis, and also murmur of tricuspid stenosis. And there are not many murmurs we find in late diastole. One of them is the murmur of complete heart block. Its name is the right hand murmur. Okay, have you noticed one thing? In systolic murmur, there is no early systolic murmur. Okay, the mid systolic murmur itself is called ejection systolic murmur, but not early systolic. Remember this fact. Okay, continuous murmur, one we all know it is PDA. It's also called continuous machinery murmur. Another is right hand murmur. Another murmur is of ruptured sinus of Valsalva. So PDA you must remember. Continuous murmur example you must remember PDA, and if you can remember the ruptured sinus of Valsalva, it is written in Hutchinson's, so it is good. Okay, I think we have a little bit more time for revising, so let's revise a little. Heart murmurs, they are sounds due to turbulent flow which is in heart and or great vessels. There are four characteristics. One is loudness, which is the degree of turbulence. It is graded in grade 1 to grade 6, grade 1 being the least loud and grade 6 being the loudest. In grade 6 you can hear the murmur even without the help of a stethoscope. Then there is a quality of murmur. It is the frequency or pitch. There may be high pitch, there may be low pitch, there may be medium pitch. Location is on the chest wall. It also radiates sometimes, and the location on chest wall again depends on the site of origin inside the heart or the valve. So we have divided the auscultatory areas of heart in four parts: aortic, pulmonary, tricuspid and mitral. In aortic area we find the murmur of aortic stenosis and hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. In pulmonary area we find the murmur of pulmonary stenosis, pulmonary regurgitation. In tricuspid area we find the murmur of tricuspid regurg, tricuspid stenosis and ventricular septal defect. In mitral area we find the murmur of mitral stenosis and mitral regurgitation. And in timing there are three events: systolic event, diastolic event, and there are continuous events. So in systolic murmurs are divided into mid systole, late systole, pansystole. Mid systolic murmurs are aortic stenosis and hypertrophic cardiomyopathy and innocent murmurs. Late systolic murmurs are mitral valve prolapse and tricuspid valve prolapse. Pansystolic murmurs are mitral regurgitation, tricuspid regurgitation and ventricular septal defect. Diastolic murmurs are divided into early diastolic, mid diastolic and late diastolic. Aortic regurgitation and pulmonary regurgitation murmurs are seen in early diastole. Mitral stenosis and tricuspid stenosis murmurs are found in mid diastole, and murmur of complete heart block, which is known as right hand murmur, is seen in late diastole, which is also sometimes called pre-systole by the cardiologists. Continuous murmur example is PDA, which is machinery, continuous machinery murmur. Another example which is ruptured sinus of Valsalva. So that's all guys. Thank you for listening to me, and also please consider to like the video and share the video. Thank you.